Public urged to follow travel advisory during Aidilfitri. The Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has assured that the implementation of the new minimum wage of 1,500 ringgit will be enforced starting 1st of May. He also promised that the government will not be making any U-turn on the decision.
Walaupun terdapat pelbagai cadangan, rayuan dan sebagainya, saya ingin memberi jaminan hari ini kepada pekerja bahawa penetapan gaji minima untuk dilaksanakan pada 1 Mei akan diteruskan. Kita tidak akan menarik balik dan sebagainya, tidak akan ada U-turn dan sebagainya, akan diteruskan. Cuma detailnya akan diumumkan oleh Yang Berhormat Menteri Semua Malaysia.
He said this after a cheque presentation ceremony for the retrenched Perwaja Steel Syndrome Berhad workers at the Kemaman UMNO Division Office Hall today. Meanwhile, a total of 709 former workers of Perwaja Steel Syndrome Berhad in Kemaman who were retrenched in November 2014 today received compensation totaling 8.64 million ringgit. The compensation cheques were presented by Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri to them, with each getting between 3,000 and 21,000 ringgit. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the issue of former workers' claim for compensation had been resolved after a 7-year court battle.
Bekas pekerja akan menerima cek yang boleh terus digunakan. Di antara jumlahnya adalah di antara RM3,000 sehingga RM21,000. Saya percaya ini merupakan hadiah untuk sambutan Aidilfitri yang akan diadakan pada 3 bulan. Saya tahu tahun ini perayaannya mesti lebih meriah. Kerana dah 2 tahun kita tidak dapat merayakan Aidilfitri bersama keluarga. Tahun ini anak cucu yang duduk di Kuala Lumpur ke di mana-mana boleh balik kampung untuk beraya dengan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan.
Perwaja, set up in 1982 under the country's heavy industrialization policy, changed ownership several times after running into financial and other problems before it eventually ceased operations. And Plus Malaysia Berhad has advised motorists from the Klang Valley travelling to their hometowns on the 29th of April to the 2nd of May for the Aidilfitri festive season to enter the highway before 10 a.m. Now, Plus Chief Operating Officer Datuk Zakaria Ahmad Zabidi said Plus is calling on the people to comply with the Balik Kampung and Pulang ke Bandar Travel Time Advisory or TTA and plan their journeys to avoid traffic congestion. As this is the first time after 2 years of Movement Control Order or MCO that Malaysians are allowed to return to their home villages to celebrate Hari Raya Aidilfitri, Datuk Zakaria said Plus expects about 2 million vehicles, which is an increase of 25% compared to 1.6 million vehicles a day using its highways currently. He urged highway users heading to faraway destinations such as Perlis, Kedah, Pulau Pinang, northern part of Perak as well as Johor to enter the highway earlier, which is before 10 a.m., while those heading to nearer locations or states are advised to enter the highway before 1 p.m. He added that apart from the TTA schedule, highway customers are also urged to use Plus application, Waze or Google Map to obtain a better travel plan. Motorists can obtain the latest traffic information via Twitter at Plus Traffic, Plus application, chatbot Putri, electronic message signs at selected locations, or follow the traffic report through leading national radio broadcast. Now, Kelantan folks living outside the state who would be returning to their hometowns and villages to celebrate Aidilfitri are encouraged to do the COVID-19 RTK screening test before embarking on their journey. Kelantan Menteri Besar Dato' Ahmad Yaakob said the initiative is one of the best methods to curb the spread of COVID-19 and to keep their parents and families safe from the virus.
Ziarah tu boleh. Sebab yang pentingnya kita jaga SOP, terutamanya apabila tempat awam, tempat berkumpul, mungkin dengan sanak saudara, jagalah, terutama sekali pakai penutup muka, dan kalau boleh jarak tu juga kena jagalah.
Dato' Ahmad spoke to reporters after handing over Raya biscuits to a representative of the Kelantan Darul Naim Media Club at his residence in Kota Baru today. Previously, Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Shafian Mahmud said around 2 million vehicles were expected to enter the state during the upcoming Aidilfitri celebrations. Now, 80% of more than 14,000 fire and rescue department personnel will be on duty during Op Raya Aidilfitri 2022 throughout the upcoming Hari Raya celebrations. According to Deputy Housing and Local Government Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ismail Abdul Muttalib, the department had only granted festive leave to 20% of its workforce nationwide. He said on top of regular duties, firemen will be assigned to additional duties, including helping the other enforcement agencies in their joint operations.
Tahun ini kita izinkan lebih kurang 20% benar cuti dan 80% terpaksa bertugas. Namun demikian 20% ini walaupun mereka bercuti tetapi mereka boleh dipanggil pada bila khidmat mereka diperlukan. Maknanya kita berikan sedikit kelonggaran untuk mereka yang mungkin tahun lepas tidak bercuti dan sebagainya. Kita bagi ruang, namun tugas rasmi yang mereka jalankan akan tidak mereka abaikan.
Datuk Sri Dr. Ismail also said that JBPM operation control centres nationwide will remain open and are well prepared to face any untoward incidents during the festive season. Coming up, hunt still on for the 72 Rohingya escapees. The Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, or MOSTI, plans to introduce drone industry and technology in the Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics, or STEM, education syllabus to produce more future industry players. Now, Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba said his ministry would discuss with the Ministry of Education on the matter in the government's efforts to streamline the syllabus and attract more interest in STEM subjects.
Jadi dengan adanya minat yang dipupuk di peringkat akar umbi ini, masyarakat, saya yakin penerima gunaan teknologi drone ini untuk masa depan boleh kita kukuhkan dan boleh kita perluaskan, dan kita boleh bersedia untuk memajukannya ke arah penggunaan artificial intelligence dalam drone.
He spoke to reporters after launching the Fly with Merak Corporate Social Responsibility (CSR) program at the Kota Tinggi District Council Hall, Bandar Tenggara today. Datuk Sri Dr. Adham said currently the ministry is working with the Johor State Exco, Nurliza Noor, to start introducing the drone technology through co-curriculum at schools, higher education institutions and skills institutes in Johor. Now, police are still tracking down the remaining 72 Rohingya detainees who escaped from the Sungai Bakap Immigration Detention Depot in Pulau Pinang on Wednesday. Kedah Police Chief Commissioner Wan Hassan Wan Ahmad said 8 detainees were recaptured yesterday, and today efforts to track down the remaining escapees are ongoing. In a statement today, Commissioner Wan Hassan said as of this evening, 72 more detainees have yet to be found and the operation to track them down is still ongoing. In the incident that occurred early Wednesday morning, 528 Rohingya detainees broke out from the detention depot. 6 of them, however, were killed after they were hit by a vehicle while attempting to escape on an expressway. Now, police will investigate a family's claim that one of the 3 boys killed in an accident in Pasir Gudang 2 days ago was not involved in illegal racing. Now, speaking at a press conference after a ceremony for handing over duty to the new Iskandar Puteri District Police Chief today, Johor Police Chief Dato' Kamarul Zaman Mahmud said the matter would be investigated thoroughly to ensure justice for those affected.
Kawasan tu memang salah satu kawasan lah yang digunakan kerana dia jalan dia tak ada halangan dan sebagainya. Itu ada yang akan ambil kesempatan, tapi untuk yang ini kita akan siasat jaga lebih detail lagi.
Dato' Kamarul Zaman also advised people to practice defensive driving and not to be influenced by illegal racing groups. Yesterday, police issued a statement that 3 boys, aged 15 and 16, were killed and a 17-year-old boy was seriously injured after 3 motorcycles suspected to be involved in racing crashed at Jalan Delima in Taman Kota Masai about 10:30 p.m. on Friday. Meanwhile, Dato' Kamarul Zaman said only 10% of the 10,000 officers and personnel in Johor would be given Hari Raya Aidilfitri leave. He said many police personnel would be involved in conducting the Ops Selamat beginning 28th of April, which includes traffic operations and patrols in residential areas and shopping centres during the Raya period. The Kelantan government has instructed all local authorities in the state not to clamp vehicles found to have breached traffic rules, especially in urban areas from this week until a week after the Hari Raya Aidilfitri celebrations. Now, Kota Baru Municipal Council Islamic City or MPKB BRI President Rusnazli Amin said that following the directive, companies handling the parking concessions have also been asked not to clamp the vehicles. Speaking to reporters after presenting Raya gifts to all Kota Baru Parliamentary Constituency political appointments today, Rusnazli said although there would be no clamping of vehicles, the public must still pay their parking fees as summonses would be issued should they fail to do so.
Parking tu mana, marking tu masih lagi kena bayar, tetapi dari segi penguatkuasaan lah. Jadi kita pun telah minta, saya pun telah minta supaya lebih kepada menasihatlah. Sebab tu saya kata pihak polis dan juga penguatkuasa kita akan minta kenderaan beredar daripada kawasan-kawasan supaya tidak menghalang aliran trafik.
The Malaysia Maritime Enforcement Agency or MMEA has detained 21 Vietnamese skippers and crew members for illegally fishing in the country's waters on Friday. Mersing Maritime Zone Director, Maritime Commander Khairul Nizam Misran said 2 boats and fishing equipment worth about 2 million ringgit were seized in 2 operations. Dubbed Op Khas Pagar Laut and Op Khas Kuda Laut, the operations were conducted at about 62 nautical miles northeast of Kuala Mersing at 10 a.m. In a statement today, he said about 6,000 kilograms of various types of catch and about 5,500 litres of diesel were also confiscated. The suspects, aged between 16 and 62, failed to produce their identification documents and were taken to the Malaysian Maritime Jetty at Teluk Gading Post for further investigation. The target of 31 gold medals set for the Hanoi SEA Games in Vietnam is realistic and based on specific evaluation conducted by various parties. Youth and Sports Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Faizal Azumu explained that the target was reached after proper evaluation, including the potential of athletes from other countries who will be competing in the Games this time. However, the minister said the number of gold medals could be higher depending on the determination of the national athletes.
Walaupun saya sendiri seperti orang ramai berharap kita dapat lebih daripada 31. kita tak boleh sasar 31, dapat 31 tidur malam. Lena, tak boleh. Kita perlu usaha daripada sekarang untuk dapat lebih daripada apa yang kita sasarkan.
Datuk Seri Ahmad Faisal hopes that the national athletes will give their full attention in improving their performance in facing the games and other bigger meets. He said this is because momentum is very important in providing a tonic for bigger upcoming competitions such as the Asian Games and the Commonwealth Games. He added the management also needs to be confident in the ability of the country's athletes, even though there are sports that will be sending new faces for the purpose of exposure at the SEA Games this time. In a related development, Olympic Council of Malaysia OCM President Tan Sri Muhammad Nurza Zakaria said the target for Malaysia to be among the top 3 countries at the Hanoi SEA Games next month will be discussed in greater detail before an official announcement is made soon. According to Tan Sri Muhammad Nurza, the OCM would discuss the matter with the Malaysian contingent's chef de mission to the Hanoi SEA Games, Datuk Nur Azmi Ahmad, and the National Sports Council to decide whether the target is realistic or otherwise. He personally opined that he does not want to put pressure on the athletes to achieve the target, as most of them are struggling with performance issues due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Tan Sri Muhammad Nurza expects Malaysia's position target to be announced at the Jalur Gemilang handover and breaking of fast event with the national contingent this week. Now, asked about which sport hold the best goal prospects for the country in Vietnam, he said the diving squad is predicted to continue their excellence in Hanoi, as the level of national divers is much better than that of their rivals from other countries. The national divers are expected to sweep all 8 gold medals on offer in the Hanoi Games. Now, the Badminton Association of Malaysia, or BAM, is committed to ensuring that the Malaysia Open Badminton Championship 2022, scheduled to be held from the 28th of June to the 3rd of July, will be a grand tournament. As President Tan Sri Muhammad Nurza Zakaria said, BAM is in talks with the main sponsor, Petronas, to hold the Super 750 World Tour tournament in a great way. After the cancellation of the tournament for 2 years in a row due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Tan Sri Muhammad Nurza said this edition would be held at the Axiata Arena in Bukit Jalil.
I think kita tengah engage Petronas to ensure that the Malaysia Open will be presented in a very grand way lah. Memandangkan status pun dah increase. Kita harap bahawa ia merupakan daripada satu kejohanan yang prestigious dalam kalender badminton World Badminton Federation.
He also confirmed that the Malaysian Masters Championship from the 5th to the 10th of July will also be held at Axiata Arena. And that's all the time we have for this evening's News at 10. In our top story, former Pewaja steel workers get over 8 million ringgit in compensation. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Jessica Lee. Thank you for watching.